Rashid Kapadia.
Rashid.
Rashid. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Kindle the spark within. I ask of you to join me on a short voyage. Together, we seek a holy grail called inspiration. I ask this profoundly mindful of the fact that I cannot inspire you. Only the stories I narrate may do that. And the principles I recognize can certainly do that. Let's begin by looking for some meaning. The exact meaning of three words that are integral to my communication today. Inspire, kindle, enthusiasm. The dictionary tells me, inspire, to fill up with an animated, a quickening, or even an exalting influence. The history of this word. We are told it's been in our language, English, for more than 700 years. And then, 700 years ago, it meant to breathe upon, to breathe onto. Intriguing. 700 years ago, if you were inspired, it was as natural and as necessary as breathing itself. Our second word is kindle. It means to light or to set something afire. It's the oldest word. It's over 800 years old. And it then meant a candle or a torch. Our third word is enthusiasm. For the mind to be controlled, absorbed, or even possessed by a lively interest or by a pursuit. This is a young word. It's only 400 years old. It comes to us from Greek. But then it meant to be possessed by a god, or God-possessed. Theology, theos, enthusiasm, they share the same root word. This is an inspiring discovery. If you're enthusiastic, you have been possessed by your gods. Two greatest inspirations in my life, no exceptions, my mother and my father. Today I'd like to share how my father has been a lifelong inspiration. Dad was a member, I'm going to call him Dad. He was a member of Rotary International, and I was delighted a few days ago to find that Chris is a Rotarian too. Dad gave much of his time, tremendous effort, a lot of enthusiasm to serve his community through Rotary International. The driving motivation for him was summed up in two explicit statements in Rotary. Service above self. 2. Goodwill, it begins with you. Let me take you back to a year, 1972, January 30th. I was a young boy sitting in the audience. My father had organized a huge conference. He was the district governor, and he was speaking to Rotarians, urging them on. Here are some things that he said. The very first Indian international president of Rotary International, Nitish Lahiri, he recognized in everyone, as I certainly recognize in you today, an inner feeling. And in 4 words, never to be forgotten, he urged Rotarians everywhere in the world to kindle the spark within. Dad went on to quote the founder of Rotary International, Paul Harris. It is my hope for the future that Rotarians shall continue to be ambassadors of goodwill to all people, all countries, and of all religious faiths. He urged the audience, goodwill begins with you. It is the motivating power that makes all of this possible. You must have goodwill radiate in all parts of your lives. Family, work, friends, hobbies, Toastmasters. Now, for the next few moments, I don't have an explanation of how this is going to happen. I don't have any rational way of explaining this to you. But my father is going to speak to you. It's not me, it's my father who speaks to you. And perhaps you could recall your father to be sitting with you and listening to. Toastmasters of Houston, kindle the spark within you. It is the fountainhead of inspiration, the holy grail that all of you seek. It is as necessary and as natural as breathing itself. With every breath that kindles the spark, you will generate a fuel called goodwill. That shall fill you up with enthusiasm. And by default, here on earth, you will be doing the work of your gods. Our short voyage is coming to an end. If you seek inspiration, service above self, and inspired standard. If you seek inspiration, goodwill begins with you, and inspired standard. If you seek goodwill, kindle the spark within. These messages then are a powerful legacy, a gift from my father to me, a gift of inspired standards. These messages have been spoken in every village, in every civilization, in every century, in every corner of the globe. Everywhere, elders have taught this to their young. These messages are all around us today. They are spoken in every tongue. They are practiced by those who have come here as volunteers today. For example, Margaret Fuller once said, "If you have knowledge, let others light their candles in it." Decades ago, 6, 7, may even be 8 decades ago, halfway across the globe, in a subcontinent, an Indian leader, Mahatma Gandhi, said, "If you wish to find yourself, then lose yourself in the service of others." Madam Toastmaster.